Hello dear traders, welcome to the weekly review of Trading Hero portfolios. This week all portfolios brought us a profit. We start our analysis from the first portfolio. This is the 5K portfolio in the first version. It brought us 0.1% profit. 5K portfolio version 2 brought us 0.3% profit this week. 5K portfolio version 3 0.2% profit. 10K portfolio version 1 almost 0.3% profit. 10K portfolio version 2 0.1% profit, 10K portfolio version 3 almost 0.3% profit, 20K portfolio almost 0.3% profit, 50K portfolio 0.3% profit, 100K portfolio almost 0.3% profit, and 200K 0.3% profit. Let's start the detailed review from the first currency pair, which is the Australian dollar against the Canadian dollar. We are on an hourly time frame. We highlighted the previous week with a gray rectangle, and each vertical line separates one trading day. Speaking about this currency pair, we can see that technically we broke the local uptrend we were forming for the last 2 weeks, and now we have a clear downtrend, and actually this market movement allowed us to close all the selling positions we were holding since the previous week, and moreover we started gaining new buying positions. We closed some of them on the recent correction, and some of them are still in the market, and we need to see a bigger correction to close them, or we need to break through the local lows and then gain more buying positions and close all the trades on the market reversal. The profit of this week is $200, and on the daily time frame we can see that actually this correction was expected because we were growing for 10 days in a row. We faced a strong resistance level, and we are quite far from the previous support level. But if you take a look at the local lows, you'll see that they are continuously growing, so it means that there is a hidden uptrend in the frames of these corrections. So I think that the market is likely to move upward the next week, or at least to consolidate somewhere in the upper part of this corridor, which will help us to close all the remaining trades with a profit. The next currency pair is Aussie NZD. Here you can see that one day before this rates cut, we closed all the selling trades we were holding for a couple of weeks and started buying. Then we closed all these trades with a profit, and now we have new selling positions and we keep holding them. The profit of this week amounted to $274, and on the daily time frame you can see that the scenario we were forecasting, that we have this uptrend, but we cannot definitely say that this is an uptrend because we don't have these higher highs. If you remember, we were speaking about these higher highs. Now we have them, so we can definitely say that we have this actually market movement that resembles the local uptrend. And if we zoom it out more, you can see that globally we have this ascending channel that started forming in November 2022. So it means that we are growing for 3 years in a row, but we do it in a very, very wide corridor. So the last year we spent in the lower part of this corridor, so that's why there is a probability that the next part of the year we can spend it in its upper part. The next currency pair is Aussie USD. Here you can see that we reached the local lows, and now we're trying to break them. Soon we're gonna have the news release, so we'll see, maybe we'll finally break it and start moving downward. You can see that previously we had this local correction or local uptrend, but it was broken, and now we can see that the price is moving down. This week we closed only one trade from the previous week, and the profit amounted to $41. And as for the open trades, we have only buy trades because we were falling during all this week almost with no corrections. On the daily time frame you can see that the uptrend that was forming from the beginning of the year is really broken, because we have lower highs and now we have lower lows. So if the previous week we were speaking about that this movement could be a false break and now we can continue moving in the previous direction, now we definitely can see that the trend was broken, and now we're going into a consolidation phase. Here is our local support level, so I think that sooner or later we're gonna reach it, and then we'll consolidate somewhere in this range. The next currency pair is Euro GBP. You can see that we had a correction this week. We closed two chains of trades. The profit amounted to $60, and on the daily time frame we can see that after a couple of unsuccessful attempts to break through the previous local highs, the market started to hold down. We have lower highs, we have lower lows, so I think that we have potential of a decline for the next 1 or 2 weeks. Here is the resistance level we are trying to break through, and we didn't make it, so I think that it's very possible that after breaking this local support will move towards this one. The next currency pair is GBP USD, and here you can see that this local uptrend that was actually troubling us for the last 2 weeks, it finally ended, and now we can see that we have a clear local downtrend. We closed some of the trades we were holding since the beginning of August, and we started gaining new buying positions. The profit of this week amounted to $263, and on the daily time frame we can see that we actually reached the resistance level. Let me draw it like this, that we were discussing the previous week, that we have this kind of a huge corridor and we have a small corridor with its own support and resistance levels. And actually this was the scenario that we came to this level, and now we need to move to this support level. We did everything we were expected, so I'm really glad that this week it is not ended, but still the fact that we covered all the distance is good. Now we need to wait for the price to break and consolidate above this level to move towards the local lows and final close. The selling trades we are holding with the profit, so hopefully in a week or two we're gonna see this kind of market moment. The next currency pair is GBP CAD, and here you can see that the market moved into a consolidation phase. So we have this local resistance level, we started forming the local support level. We also have a lot of positions that we were gaining for a couple of weeks, and considering that the market grew for around 500 pips, 5,000 pips with a correction of only 100 pips, it still gives us some space to count on a deeper correction, at least to these levels. That will be somewhere around 61.8 on Fibonacci retracement. And actually we can see that now we have this lowering highs and lowering lows, so the most probable scenario from my point of view is the continuation of this decline, which will allow us to close all of the selling trades that we are holding currently. We have not closed any trades this week, so we wait for the market to move downward to close all the remaining trades. On the daily time frame we can see that the market faced a strong resistance level. We were growing 11 days in a row, and after this 11th day of growth we started falling down, but now we are in a consolidation. So from my point of view the most probable scenario is the decline to the middle of this channel or to its lower part. The next currency pair is USD CAD. Here you can see that we closed our buy and trade, then we reached the previous resistance level and we actually started selling before this level. The profit amounted to $86, and on the daily time frame we can see a picture that we were forecasting for a couple of months. If you remember, I was telling that after this consolidation we need to wait where the market will break it, and now it broke it, it retested, and now we have this classic third wave of growth. So hopefully we'll reach this target, and those of you who placed some long-term trades are in good profit. And the last currency pair for today is New Zealand against the Canadian dollar. Finally we closed to algorithms that were holding buying trades since April. It took us around 4 months to actually close all of these trades that were opened thanks to Donald Trump. And considering this situation, we spent almost 4 months in this consolidation. You can see that market was not moving from this corridor too much, but still the situation was controlled. It was not so tough as we had on the GBP USD, but still having these two positions in a drawdown paying swaps every day was not really pleasant. So I'm really glad that we closed all the trades. and we covered the swaps. We still made some profit. The profit of this week amounted to $525, and on the daily time frame you can see that still technically, as we were moving in this downward channel, we are keep moving in this channel. So I think that the next global stop should be around these local lows, so we have all the chances to see the market decline to these levels, and then we may see a correction. But who knows, actually now we actually felt for more than 1% in a day. It's a huge decline, and usually after this kind of declines we may face some kind of a correction. So let's see. I think that we're going to be consolidating somewhere near these prices or falling to the previous local lows. So this week actually brought us a lot of positive things. Firstly, we closed all our trades with NZD-CAD that we were holding since April. The second thing is that GBP/USD started its decline, and hopefully we'll see the continuation of this movement on the next week. As for the other currency pairs, everything is also okay. So hopefully the next week will bring us more profits. I congratulate again all the traders that were in a drawdown with us with NZD-CAD and also closed these trades with a profit. Thank you for your patience. Hopefully we're going to see the closure of the cable with a profit very soon. So thank you for your attention, and see you in the next video review.